Well, we've started officially at Gamescom now. Conferences are over. I'm here with Michael. We're sort of discussing yesterday's conference. You guys kicked it off in quite good style. How do you feel after that?
Yeah, good. I think it's a good conference. I think it's always interesting coming to Gamescom. You know, we're on the back of E3, 2 months after E3, and we tend to get our big announcements going for E3. So to come to Gamescom and unveil 5 new IPs, more killer content for Vita and for PlayStation 3 feels really good.
Let's sort of concentrate on the new IPs to begin with. I mean, we'll talk about Wonderbook as well in a minute. But about almost delaying any sort of announcement from E3 till now, is it? I find it interesting with the new IPs, they almost had a very distinct European flair about the art style. Did that just fit in nicely then with Gamescom?
I wish I could say we were that controlled on it all, but no, you know, things come together at different times, and different conferences gel with different content as well. But it was nice. I think you know the reality is we feel we wanted to big Vita up here at Gamescom. I think a number of people did point at E3 and thought Vita wasn't represented as perhaps as well as it should have. So, you know, come on to new IP in a moment, but when you look at the roster we have for the first big holiday season for Vita now, with the likes of Little Big Planet, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, and then you look at the future and the likes of Media Molecule coming to the platform with Tearaway and a new Killzone, I think Vita's looking strong.
I was going to say that you guys finished off with the first footage of Black Ops Declassified. Was that, again, the sort of thing of, okay, it's a couple of months down the line now, we've got nice substantial stuff to show off now, rather than a logo and a name, you can actually show gameplay?
Yeah, well, absolutely. You know, we went with the announce at E3, and I think it was time to follow it up with some gameplay, so I hope everybody enjoyed that.
I think actually some of the buzz off the conference was that feeling of diversity. Like I was saying about the new IPs, you've got a Move title in there, you've got a PSN title, and even the main PS3 title isn't perhaps what people were expecting. Let's sort of talk about the Move first with Until Dawn. That's such an interesting concept to do for a Move game, and it's certainly something that perhaps maybe the perception of before has been Moves more like sort of family-oriented entertainment. This is not really that at all. This is as far beyond family-oriented entertainment as you can get.
Yeah, really pleased with Until Dawn and the reaction to it. And I think when we set out to introduce Move, you know, I think people had expectations as well that, hey, are we going to get some big PlayStation 3 style games? And perhaps there was some disappointment that there seemed to be more party games and casual games just for Move, which are great, and Move does very well. But I think to introduce this style of game to Move now feels right. And you know, it's going to be interesting when people start to get hands-on with it, because whilst I think it will appeal to the core, I think it'll appeal to the casual as well. The type of game it is, the genre in the teen horror, and a very narrative game as well. So no, we've got very high hopes.
You're saying about that being a more adult-oriented game. Is that certainly with yourselves and the competition, utilising motion technology has been sort of finding your feet really with family entertainment, and what would be the next stage for it? Does this Until Dawn sort of begin that new wave almost of more diverse Move titles?
Yeah, I think it shows the versatility of Move, and I think the way we look at Move is, you know, as I said in the press conference, we think it's a game. You watch that trailer, and I think most people would want to play that game, not just core gamers, as I say, casual gamers, different people in the family would want to get their hands on that. Obviously, you'd have to be...
Yeah, I was going to say.
To do it, but I think you understand what I'm saying. You know, maybe boyfriend, girlfriend playing the game together, sat on the couch, making choices, exploring in the game what can happen. So I think Move really can offer that experience as well, the pick up and play, the direct experience.
And with Rain, which is, I believe, a working title still at the moment, that's a PSN game that you guys are pushing as a big release. How do you guys feel about that being within the digital space? Again, is that you guys embracing the digital side of things a lot more now?
I think that's right. I mean, I think we're seeing everywhere, a growth in digital distribution. So I think it's great that we can, I guess, put some of our champion content out through the digital space, and it feels right for a game like that. And we're super excited.
And I'd say the same with Puppeteer. Then that would be the case.
Well, Puppeteer is a bigger game. So I think Puppeteer would lend itself to a Blu-ray release as well as digital release. But again, inspiring content, and the guys at Japan Studios really showed themselves off well.
All right, let's talk Wonderbook. Obviously came out on stage, announced the new content partners. Has that been a case of the idea from the start with the BBC? Certainly the suggestion is that this would be a more sort of a fun educational way of using Wonderbook, and certainly bringing that content to PS3 and PS3 families.
Yeah, so Wonderbook is such a diverse platform for us, if you like. Clearly we're heading out there with the big one, with Book of Spells, J.K. Rowling exclusive. So that starts it really well. And since we announced that, it has been amazing, the reaction, certainly from content creators and brand owners such as the BBC. Now, the sort of content we can do, as you say, and as I said at the press conference, it's not just pure entertainment and bringing stories to life. We can do more educational type stuff if we want, but always in an entertaining way. So you look at Walking with Dinosaurs as a franchise. I mean, it's entertaining, but there's also learnings there as well. So that lends itself very well. But also we announced going into the future, pure entertainment, biggest brand out there, Disney as well. So I think Wonderbook is going to keep growing in terms of interest.
Can you sort of mention or sort of talk about Disney a bit in more sort of broader detail at all?
I think at this stage it's just to say it's fantastic that they're on board. We're looking forward to announcing which IPs, which brands over which timescales to come. Yeah.
Well, how are you guys going into marketing Wonderbook? We saw in the trailer you guys were displaying for Book of Spells. That very sort of family oriented. I keep coming back to this word, but with the kids sort of interacting with it and seeing what they could do with it. How are you guys approaching pushing Wonderbook to the market? In fact, what markets are you pushing it to?
Well, PlayStation 3's been around a while now, coming 7th year, and I think it is expanding to a family audience. We have Move there as well, and it's great when you come out with something like Wonderbook, and yes, the audience is primarily children, but a family product as well. And I think, as we showed from some of the video last night, the user testing we're doing in the family environment and with children, it really is amazing the reaction you get to it, the wow factor to it, and the engagement from the children. So yeah, we think it's absolutely the right content at the right time for the platform.
Okay, we're talking about PS3, then Vita. Like you mentioned, a lot of new content for Vita, utilising the handheld's capabilities. Certainly Media Molecule, best guys for showing this off, or for utilising that. What's the strategy now for Vita going into actually post-Christmas releases?
Well, I understand the question, but I would like to come back to, this is the first holiday season. There's lots of big titles there. As I say, Little Big Planet coming out for it, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, FIFA, and then some of our first-party stuff that introduces this concept of not only cross-play and cross-share, etc., but cross-buy as well. So with PlayStation's All-Stars, Ratchet & Clank, and Sly to come as well, this helps us create this PlayStation ecosystem. So, if you're a PlayStation 3 fan, I mean, you look at LBP Cross Control demo. Why would you not want to play with your PlayStation 3 using your Vita as a controller? And with cross-buy, to be able to get some content discounted, some content free. I think we're set up for a good holiday season. But you're right, what we also showed is it's not just going to be finishing there. Look to the future as well, guys. Media Molecule, one of our premium creatives, premium talents. And what they're doing with the platform really is amazing. And then you add to that another big studio for us, Guerrilla, bringing Killzone. Yeah?
So all the big names.
Yeah, they're all on Vita. It's going to be great.
Decision to make the one purchase necessary for PlayStation All Stars, and then you can take that up with the Vita. Obviously, you guys are going to lose almost losing a profit on that, because you could sell the same game twice on PS3 and Vita. But is this the thing you guys feel like this is the right time to do this? In fact, this is the logical thing to do and to push ahead with it?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, for the games we're talking about there, they are virtually the same game on different platforms, and they have that ecosystem about them in terms of cross-play as well and cross-share. So it feels right that you should be allowing the people who bought it once to get the entitlement to the other platform. Now, that's not going to happen for all games. You know, some games are a different experience on the different platforms, but it feels a natural thing to do, and I think you know, it rewards our fans for buying into the PlayStation ecosystem.
And it's something to actually help grow their system. If people have that offer, they're going to buy into it.
Absolutely, and I think that's the feeling I was saying. You know, if you're a PlayStation 3 owner now, and you're looking at that LBP controller and you're an LBP fan, why would you not want to play on your PlayStation 3 with that controller? And also, you're thinking, well, if I buy PlayStation All-Stars on my PlayStation 3, wow, I get that again for Vita, if I'm a Vita owner too. So I think you're right, it does grow it as well.
Does that work both ways? So if you buy PlayStation All-Stars on the PS Vita, then you get the PlayStation 3 version? Or is it just if you buy the PlayStation 3 version?
It's both ways. So whichever your first platform of choice is in terms of a purchase, you get the other version, digital copy for free.
We sort of talked about the first party, what you guys are doing internally, but with third-party games like Assassin's Creed, can you sort of elaborate a little bit?
Sure. Well, as I say, what we've decided to do in terms of things like cross-buy aren't mandated at all. You know, they're specific to some of our first-party titles, and not all of them either. Depends on the content in play. Now, Assassin's Creed's a great example of that's a bespoke Vita game. It's not the same as the PlayStation 3 game, so it wouldn't really be relevant. As I say, it's a completely different game.
With the Little Big Planet 2, and certainly we saw Move being utilised for FIFA 13. Are you taking, with first party and third party studios, are you saying, look, here's the options, here's the diversity we have for the control schemes, go nuts? Yeah,
absolutely, and I think it's a good point you make. We never like to be too prescriptive with any of our studios and saying, oh, you have to use this feature, that feature, support this, that and the other. We leave it open to them and see what they can come up with. And of course with Move, I think there's a brilliant application for Little Big Planet as well, the Move pack we brought out there, and to create with Move, it's fantastic. So, you know, it just adds to it, and it's interesting. We'll go back to Until Dawn. You know, I think if I would have put that game up first yesterday and not said it's a Move control game, I would think that would have surprised people, yeah? So, no, it's interesting to see the way developers are still getting to grips with the different controls and wanting to experiment more and more.
And like you said, with Until Dawn, the idea is you don't want people thinking a Move game is less of a game than a normal sort of like a Black Ops or whatnot.
I think that's right. I think, you know, when we originally announced Move and what it could do, I think there was an expectation that those big AAA PlayStation-style games would work with Move. Now, of course, games like Killzone, you know, have used the Move in the shooting sense, but I think Until Dawn takes that further and controls the full game through, and you can use the Move in many different ways, so it's a really exciting prospect.
And sort of wrapping up, I mean, we're talking about the winter schedule. You're obviously a busy man, but what's on the cards for you yourself over the coming months and maybe the next 12 months?
Yeah, well, to be honest, it is the focus on getting all those big games shipped now. Clearly, when you make these announcements, it's absolutely key we deliver through on it. Wonderbook's massive for us, and we need to make sure that absolutely delivers on the promise. And then with Vita, Little Big Planet coming as well, I think we'll absolutely rock. And I'm really excited about Little Big Planet cross-control as well. I think that will be really exciting for people.
Cool. Well, listen, appreciate you talking to us. Thank you very much indeed for the time.
Thank you.